Hi everybody, this is Vince Sellers. Welcome to FBI Talk. This is the coronavirus edition of my little show, and I wanted to talk to you just a little bit about how coronavirus impacts the FBI, what the FBI agents might be doing, and maybe things you can do if you want to join, things you can be focused on during this special time. So, we've all been impacted in unprecedented ways here in 2020 as part of this whole coronavirus pandemic. I've never seen anything like it. Probably the closest thing in my lifetime would be 9/11, which of course was a huge moment for the FBI and still probably has impacts today with how we investigate terrorism and work with others. So this pandemic is a little bit different and unique in its own ways. And again, we've never seen anything quite like it. So I'll speculate a little bit here, but what are FBI agents up to these days? Well, I can tell you, they're up to the same thing they usually are, which is investigating crimes and trying to keep the rest of us safe. A pandemic, an earthquake, you name it, tornado, those are not reasons for FBI agents to stay home or skip school or what have you. That's when FBI agents are on duty and really look to the most to provide leadership and help out their communities. So if you're thinking of becoming an FBI agent, then in a time like this, if you feel that it's too dangerous to get out or interact with people or anything like that, you may be right, and you also may not be suitable to be an FBI agent. Part of the job is working with the public. And at the end of the day, FBI agents are really federal cops. That's really what they are. They have badges and guns and enforce laws. Well, guess what? Criminals aren't taking a break during this pandemic, and therefore FBI agents aren't either. I'm sure they have all the protective gear. The FBI is very good about trying to keep their people safe, being very conservative with their approaches, be it the way their arrests are planned, pulling people over, all the stuff you learned at the FBI Academy. The FBI preaches safety, safety, safety. And when you consider the massive number of agents that there are and the relatively small percentage of deaths that FBI agents have seen, it makes me realize that the FBI within law enforcement is a relatively safe job, but relatively being the key word. So FBI agents are out there in the public. They're still talking to people. They're still interviewing people after a bank robbery or kidnapping, things I used to work. That stuff's still going on, folks. And guess what? FBI agents are still responding. Guarantee it. So just food for thought as we're in this phase. Think about it. If you want to become an FBI agent, is that something that you really want to do? In any time like this, you're looked to run with the ball, if you will, and provide that leadership for the country. Are you ready to step up? And it's a fair question. Notice I'm no longer an FBI agent, and so for me that answer was no. But lots more on that. You can watch my other videos about why it's not great to be an FBI agent for more details. But nevertheless, there are many reasons it is a great job. So what else can I tell you? So within the coronavirus, so during this pandemic, what are things that you can be thinking about if you do want to become an FBI agent? What are some things that you can maybe be honing in on? Well, if you're not through college, sometimes there are viewers of my videos that are still in high school or still in the processes of getting their education. Now's a great time to pause and reflect on what you want to do. There are many paths to the FBI, and I've answered this question many times, but what is the best degree to have going into the FBI? And the answer truly is it depends. There are many paths. I went through an engineering path. Accounting is fantastic. Anything legal, if you can become an attorney and maybe get some law enforcement experience, you're practically guaranteed. The military is a great route, but you still do need to get that 4-year degree. And so there's lots of paths, but now's a good time for anybody to be kind of reflecting on what they want to do in life and if you want to be an FBI agent, then start trying to put those pieces together. Do your homework and figure out a path that gives you the best odds. And then if you don't make it, which we all know going in, the odds are low. That's just a reality. Think about what else would I like to do as part of my life and my career if I don't make it in the FBI. So just stuff to consider. Beyond that, if you're really getting close to applying, maybe now is a good time to apply. Dust off that computer keyboard, get out there and fill out your resume and the application online, and go for it. Go to fbi.gov/jobs and find out more. Do your homework, like I say. And if you've already done that and you're gearing up for that phase 1 test, best thing I can offer there as far as advice is get used to taking tests. Practice taking IQ tests. Go out there, take that Mensa test. Take it again. Take the different ones that are out there. Take intelligence tests. Do some Googling. And I mean, if you want to be an FBI agent, you should be able to go out and find some free online tests. Now, don't worry about the scores. That's not what matters. What matters right now is practicing taking tests. Get a feel for when there's a difficult logic problem, know when to skip it, go on to the next one. So there's an art to taking tests, and I truly believe that if you practice taking tests by nature, you can dramatically increase your score. So that's the best thing that you can do if you haven't had a phase 1 test yet, is just get ready for it and practice, practice, practice. Keep your brain sharp. So if you're in the boat of having passed phase 1 and you're getting to phase 2, or you want to start preparing for that and you feel pretty good about phase 1, and why not start prepping for phase 2? Nothing wrong with that. So for that, I would advise you to be thinking about situations where you have shown leadership and that you can work well with others. At the end of the day, that's what the FBI wants to hire. Sure, they want smart people. They want people with language abilities and accounting degrees and attorneys, all that stuff. Yeah, don't get hung up on that, though. They take all kinds of people. They want smart people. They want people that are friendly and get along with others, and that can show some leadership and solve a problem. So the interview questions in phase 2 that FBI agents are asked, of course I can't talk about that. I've mentioned it before on this show or previously on some other videos I've done. But my best advice, if you're trying to prepare for that, is think about basic interview questions. And I will tell you, the interview questions on that FBI phase 2 exam are not rocket science. They're not highly technical. They're not some crazy you need to have a great legal knowledge or law enforcement knowledge to solve. They're basic interview questions for the most part. So go out on Amazon, buy a cheapo used interview questions book, and maybe Interviewing for Dummies. I don't know. You're an FBI agent, figure it out, right? But get you a couple of books and read about common interview questions, and you'll see things like name a time when you showed leadership, or name a time when you were disappointed with your performance. Those things. So be ready to answer the bad questions. So I can't divulge any specific questions, but as with any interviews, I would recommend that you be prepared for those basic interview questions. And it's not always the name a time when you did great. Sometimes they want to hear about name a time when things didn't go so well. How did you handle it? And think about that. Really think about those questions. Write down your answers. And writing is part of that exam. Well, what better way to prepare than reading these interview questions and actually write out an actual answer for those? That's how I prepared for mine. I wrote out fairly lengthy answers to fairly common questions where it made me think through different life scenarios, different experiences, personal and professional, that I could pull from. And when I finally showed up for the interview with the FBI, then I was in pretty good shape. I already had a catalog of material I could pull from. It's almost like a comedian developing a list of jokes that they can pull from. So prepare that way. And last step, if you really want to knock them dead, and especially if you're not real confident with your interviewing skills or techniques, and I tend to be a little bit of a shy introvert sometimes, and interviewing is not my idea of fun. And so I recorded myself answering interview questions. And then I played those back. I looked to see where I was nervous, where I struggled, practiced with my delivery, and went from being probably a below average interviewer to at least adequate, good enough to be able to be hired by the FBI. So record yourself, set your phone up, record yourself, get by yourself in a room and, see how you look, because sometimes how you think you look and sound is not really exactly how it is in real life. So I know that very well. Unfortunately, I sound much cooler and speak much more professionally in my head than I actually do in real life. So, you guys get to experience that. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. And then finally, thinking through the whole phases of hiring, exercise. It can't hurt, right? Whether you get hired by the FBI or not, whether you get to go through the testing, the PT test. Well, if you don't make it that far in the process, no problem. We could all use a little extra fitness, especially in this time if you're staying at home and tend to be stocking up on groceries and then eating through those groceries. I'm sure some of you can identify with that during these special times. So combat that. Come up with a specific plan. Get out there and wear a mask if you have to. Get out there. Go running. Make yourself get out there every day. Do something every day. Don't let a day go by where you're not trying to improve yourself. Every day in life, you're either getting better or getting worse. Every day is an opportunity to get better and position yourself better for the FBI. Do those push-ups. Do those sit-ups. Try those pyramid techniques where you start small, you build up, and then kind of back down. Do a little Googling and figure out what works best for you. There's no one size fits all. But at the end of the day, be working on your fitness every day. Be thinking about those questions with the FBI. Take those logic tests and sharpen your skills. Use this time, this special time in the world, to sharpen your skills. So aside from that, I hope all of you are staying safe, staying sane. It is a special time. It's hard for everyone to some degree, staying at home and not interacting with the world like you're used to. And hopefully we'll be at the end of this sooner than later. But in the meantime, use this as your secret weapon to get an edge over everybody else. That's all I got to say about that. I hope you have a great day. Thanks for tuning in, and stay safe out there, my friends.